President Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
President Joe Biden.
President Biden has attempted to put his re-election campaign back on track.
That's why I'm running for re-election.
Now, y'all might have heard that Joe Biden, the current president of the United States, is running for re-election for his second presidential term in 2024. At 81 years old and the oldest president ever to be elected, is he really fit for the toughest job in the world? Will he be able to handle the stresses of acting as the chief executive, responsible for enforcing federal laws and overseeing the operation of the federal government? What about being the commander-in-chief? Acting as the military leader of the U.S. Armed Forces, making key military decisions, deploying troops, and ensuring the nation's security. I mean, we've all seen clips of him stumbling on steps or looking dazed and confused on stage. If he can't manage a simple set of stairs, is he up for the job of managing the entire nation? Joe Biden has been knee-deep in politics for most of his life, landing a Senate seat at just 29 years old.
Would you like to see some changes in the seniority system? Well, I would like to see some changes in the seniority system, but...
Now we fast forward to today, and he's the President of the United States, where he spends most of his time at the White House and the Oval Office. Now, life as president is far from ordinary. Biden is constantly traveling around the world, juggling endless meetings and phone calls dictated by the day's agenda. But the question still remains, is he still fit for office at 81 years old? So, in April of 2023, Joe Biden formally announced his bid for re-election in 2024, at which point he will be nearing 82 years old and smashing his own record. With a marathon campaign ahead of him and a job that would exhaust people half his age, how does he do it? And how can we all have that energy to be able to hit the ground running when we're 81? Professor Anne Heidman from the University of Sydney's Institute for Musculoskeletal Health explains what ageism is, and believe it or not, ageism is real. When people hear 81 years old, they often make sweeping generalizations about someone's abilities. But aging affects everyone differently, especially with chronic diseases playing such a significant role. So in February of last year, when the White House doctor released a report on Biden's health, despite dealing with atrial fibrillation, high cholesterol, acid reflux, seasonal allergies, spinal arthritis, and mild nerve damage in his feet, Joe was described as a healthy, vigorous 81-year-old, fit to carry out his duties as the President of the United States. Yes, he's done a physical, but what about a cognitive assessment? Donald Trump, the former US president, hammered that specific point during their most recent presidential debate that happened on June 26, 2024. He said, and I quote, "I took 2 cognitive tests and I do a physical every year, and I'm in very good health. I feel as good as I was 25 to 30 years ago. But I was willing to take this cognitive test and I aced them." So, Donald Trump took these tests and Joe Biden didn't? I'm sure most of us are wondering why a cognitive test wasn't part of Joe's assessment. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, if you think tests aren't a big deal and the tangible stuff is more important, how does Biden actually keep in shape? Well, surprisingly, he's got a pretty solid routine. He exercises at least 5 days a week, often starting his mornings with a workout that includes lifting weights. And yes, as the most powerful person on the planet, he can afford an incredibly qualified personal trainer. This trainer will supervise and manage his fitness routine and goals, ensuring that Joe is in the best shape he can be in. Now, during the 2020 campaign, he was known to bike regularly on both a traditional bike and a Peloton. His exact Peloton preferences are a bit of a mystery though. West Wing aides won't let us in if he actually brought it to the White House. Now, biking is great for people on the upper end of the age scale. It's easier on the joints compared to high-impact activities like running. It improves heart health by increasing cardiovascular endurance. It strengthens the legs, hips, and glutes. And finally, it also enhances balance and coordination, reducing the risk of falls. It sounds like a pretty perfect exercise for old Joe here. However, we've done some digging, and there doesn't seem to be any evidence of him still biking. Could it be that he's just too busy preparing to keep his seat at the White House? For the president, though, it's not just about staying in shape. Regular physical activity has numerous benefits beyond weight management and blood pressure control. Dr. Mark Sim from Edith Cowan University highlights that physical activity helps keep our cardiovascular system fit, which in turn supports cognitive function. His study found that seniors with poor grip strength and slower movement had double the risk of developing dementia. So, exercise targeting balance, control, and aerobic activity can really help make a difference. As people age, they're more prone to certain health problems, and the top 3 health issues commonly faced by the elderly are cardiovascular disease. Now, this includes conditions such as heart disease, hypertension, and stroke. The risk of developing cardiovascular disease increases with age due to factors like arterial stiffness, plaque buildup in our arteries, and changes in the heart and the blood vessels. Arthritis and joint problems. Arthritis, particularly osteoarthritis, is a lead cause of pain and disability among older adults. It involves the wearing down of cartilage in the joints, leading to pain, stiffness, and reduced mobility. Cognitive decline and dementia. This is a big one because cognitive decline, including conditions like Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia, become way more common with age. These conditions affect memory, thinking, reasoning abilities, and they significantly impact daily life. These are qualities that a leader of the nation shouldn't have, don't you think? Okay, now let's talk about what the most powerful man in the world eats to fuel his body. According to his wife Jill, he's a basic eater, but he's got some favorites. Biden loves ice cream, don't we all? And he's even joked about it publicly. And he enjoys chocolate chip cookies, lollies, peanut butter, jam sandwiches, orange Gatorade, and Coke Zero. A nice balanced diet, am I right? Although, okay, he loves his junk food and his sweets. His typical lunch, though, is a soup and a chopped salad with a grilled chicken, while dinner, it often includes pasta with a tomato-based sauce. For older adults, a diet rich in leafy greens, oily fish, and minimally processed foods is pretty crucial for maintaining physical and cognitive health. Dr. Ashley Smith from the University of South Australia's Department for Allied Health and Human Performance emphasizes that the same health benefits can be achieved in various ways, tailored to your individual preferences. But the reality is, there is still room for a treat like a cookie or a bowl of ice cream now and again. Just please remember, enjoy those sugary treats in moderation. And here's a little fun fact for you guys. The Oval Office has seen its share of snacks change over the years. Obama had a basket of apples, Trump a Diet Coke button, and Reagan had that jar of jelly beans. Instead, Biden's office is stocked with saltwater taffy from Rehoboth Beach and his favorite chocolate chip cookies. So the physical and cognitive ability of President Joe Biden for office has been a topic of debate among politicians and the general public for a while now. Whether you think Joe is fit for office or not, it's essential to base your opinion on a careful consideration of his policies, actions, and performance, rather than on partisan perspectives alone. This year is going to be an important one for US citizens worldwide to come together and decide what is best for the country. I think this year's election will be an interesting one, and honestly, I can't wait to see what the American citizens decide. What are your thoughts? And here's the big question. Do you want us to make a video on former President Trump? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember, with a dash of effort and a pinch of self-care, you'll be rocking that youthful glow for years to come. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel where we uncover more Revitalixer recipes.